Welcome back, students, to another Short Courses with me, Professor Castor, where we take the larger courses and we break them down into bite-sized chunks. Also, at the end of this particular course, we will be trying up a new thing that I'm going to be calling Story Time with Professor Castor, where we will be discussing any kind of interactions, personal or on the gaming table, with the said casters.
Vladimir Tzepesci, the Dark Champion. Khador, Warcaster. Within Vladimir Tzepesci flows the blood of kings. All his life, the prospect of doom has hunted him, a specter lurking in beyond the edges of his vision. Skulking behind every battle and behind every enemy, it has served as a constant reminder of his past and his future. His blood is as potent as a Khadorvik and as powerful as the soul of Khador itself. In the final days of the invasion of Lael, Vladimir nearly gave his life battling the minions of Krix. The old witch of Khador sought the prince out and found him dying in the Thornwood after his courageous efforts. The ancient hag took him up and bore him in her earthen lair. Deaf of the rumbles of the passing battles and murmurs of Kazi seeking to claim his land and title, the Dark Prince lay in a feverish slumber. Days passed into weeks, and weeks became months. Throughout the motherland, Vladimir was presumed dead, for no sign of him had been discovered since the battle against the Crixians. Within the witch's caverns, however, his body grew stronger, and he dreamed. As the sole remaining member of his royal line, Vladimir is as dear to the old witch as a child to his grandmother. She saw to his wounds and spoke secrets in his ears as he slept. Guided by her prophetic whispers, Vladimir saw terrible visions of the future and his role in them. There is no place in these dreams for weakness, and Vladimir tore himself from his torpor. When he awoke, he found himself whole, his body restored and his spirit strong. The prince labored tirelessly in the old witch's dimly lit caverns to forge his shattered weapons into a single blade called the Great Sword Dominion. Vladimir returned to the world with his destiny revealed to him and his purpose renewed, and the old witch's imparted doom tightened around him. Raising his army, he ventured again into the Thornwood to play out his part in the prophecy. There, in the benighted ruins of the Temple of Gorod, Vladimir fought Lich Lord Asphyxius, who seemed invincible. In the heat of the desperate battle, it was revealed to him that the only way to prevent the Lich Lord's bid for godhood was to strike down the Harbinger of Meneth, who opened her arms for him and did not evade the blow. Only a few know the necessity of this deed and the terror averted by her sacrifice, which has given Vladimir an undeserved reputation as the heretic and enemy of the southern Mennonites. He has not concerned himself with such rumors, however, for his mind remains as ever on his duty. As the rightful heir to the throne of Umbri, a nation it would be his destiny to reunite and lead for the first time in centuries. Vladimir quickly learned that the balance increasing conflict and demands placed on him. With quiet conviction, he has come to walk a careful line in honoring both his loyalty to Empress Vanar and the Umbrian blood he shares with his people. He is their champion. The vows he has made in their name strengthen his hold on the sword he wields against all who would threaten his people or the motherland. I've also fought alongside Vladimir after the Thornwood War as well. And his ability that he actually gets stronger when he is damaged is actually kind of remarkable and terrifying at the same time. And the fact that now he can raise entire units into hero levels of strength, speed, and agility is kind of remarkable as well. Almost dying changed him a lot, much like Baldur whenever he died and came back from the near abyss. And his focus and determination has changed him quite a bit.
Alrighty guys, time for some story time. This one's kind of a weird one. The first time, we're going to start with what I was doing when this happened. I was actually on reconnaissance out in Thornwood Forest slightly after a Crixian invasion had kind of ravaged the whole area. What we were looking for was, well, any kind of Crixian presence so that, we could either fend it off or head back to our stronghold and let Khador and military force and guys out and clear them out. And of course, I was backed with a troop of steelhead gunners and a few jacks, a couple small, one large, at my disposal because one, you don't go into a forest that's held by Crixians without at least some sort of jack. And I'd rather be safe than sorry because the idea of getting, killed and my body taken and turned into some Crixian monstrosity and my soul being used to fuel some kind of soul-eating machine does not sound good to me, so I will do anything in my power to keep that from happening. However, I digress. We're out there in the forest just kind of doing a round, and we hear fighting in the woods. And we're like, oh crap, I wonder if Crixians ran into some Signarans or something like that, who also had field patrols out there at the time. And it was not. It was. I thought I was seeing a ghost at the time because Vladimir had been pronounced dead by High Command a couple months prior to that, after he fell in battle. But there he was in the swamps fighting the Crixian horde. Lots of undead monstrosities just coming at him, and he had some sort of new sword, like it was about the same size as a man, and he was just cleaving them down piece by piece. However, because he's a Khadoran Warcaster, and I'm under contract with them at this point in time, it was, of course, my order to assist any way we can. So I ordered the Steelhead Gunners to start mowing down who wasn't close to Vladimir, and I ordered my Jacks to shoot in and assist as well. And then, of course, I jumped into the fray because killing undead is always something that's more fun, since they're usually not too dodgy, at least the undead portions of them. However, in the distance, you could actually hear this thumping, almost like something was running towards us. Honestly, I thought the Crixian Warcaster had sent one of its seethers in, but it turned out, as the percussion got stronger and stronger, that it was Drago, who is Vladimir's personal Jack, who doesn't really... He looks more like a berserker that's usually chained up, but after he went missing, it went dormant for a while, so we all just assumed he was dead, but maybe he was just unconscious. But moving on from that, we actually ended up pushing back the horde and making our way back to one of the strongholds where, mission ended, but he got a new name, Vladimir the Champion, because when he did go down in battle, he was actually facing unbelievable odds against the Crixians months prior. So High Command, I imagine, was super excited about him coming back into the fray. Although I imagine his enemies were not super excited about him coming back either, because the Umbrian treasury is ginormous and a lot of people want to get their hands on it. So that's my 2 cents on that storyline. I'm glad he's back and glad we can continue working together. Alrighty, students. Well, that does it for this short course. And as always, thank you, Privateer Press, for letting us read your fantastic lore. And as always, your homework is going to be, please like, subscribe, comment, let me know how I'm doing, and share it with your friends and fellow gamers alike so we can increase the class size. And as always, class dismissed.